August 29th, 2005 was a very important day in my life. Now, this commentary is going to be something a little different pace. You're going to hear a lot more pause. You're going to hear a lot more subtleness talking because today is the 10-year anniversary of an event that changed my life forever. August 29th was the date of Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina destroyed a lot. It ruined a lot, and it took a lot away from everyone. 2 days before, the 27th, I was 11 years old, okay? And my parents, my mom, she likes to prepare for these things like the beginning of the summer because we live down here in the South. We live on the coast. And, she likes to prepare for these things. She likes to pack one of those big Rubbermaid containers and stock it with dry food, canned food. We had an ice chest and like Powerade and water. That all we have to do is fill it up and then throw some ice in there and we could leave and have food and water. Well, 2 days before we start packing and start, gathering everything that is important, and we didn't think too much about it, I didn't think too much about it. I was 11, so I didn't pay too much attention to the news. I didn't pay too much to the weather. Like, oh, there's a storm coming in. You don't pay too much attention about it. Well, the next day we leave, okay? We leave that afternoon, and we go about 35 minutes to the east. We go 30 minutes to the east, not even much north. But we go to a school, and it was a shelter, and it was deemed a shelter because it was sturdy. It was, it passed a lot of like regulation, whatever, and it could withstand wind. Well, a lot of people starts checking in. We checked in, and keep this in mind for later on in the story. But we got so many people in that school that they wanted to move the first couple people that was there, the first like 20 or 30 people there, because we were running out of room. They wanted to move us to the gymnasium, and the gymnasium was a separate building, and people didn't want to go over there. Well, as the night rolled on, like we were in one of the classrooms, and we kind of like had like a camp set up in there, and at the time it was kind of cool, like, oh, okay, the storm's gonna pass. We're meeting people. There's kids in there, talking to people, playing card games, spending a lot of time together. And, I went to sleep, okay? Believe it or not, guys, when I was 9, 10, 11, and 12, I used to sleep a lot, and I used to like it. Well, I ended up going to sleep and waking up about 4 o'clock that morning, and people was freaking out. Wind was going crazy. We went up to one of the back doors, and we'd watched this big palm tree that was in the back just uproot and just fell over. Palm trees have deep roots, mind you that. And then we heard this big, just massive, like, boom, right? And we went over to the other side, and we could see half the gymnasium was collapsing. Going on, so that afternoon, after everything started passing, that night passed. The next day, they wouldn't let us leave, and they said everything's destroyed. Roads are gone, interstate's gone. You can't leave yet. It's not safe. And my mom's like, you know what? Screw you guys. We're going home. So we started driving home, and we didn't realize how bad it was at the time. Well, we get back to our city, and we lived a half a block off the beach. Okay, mind you this. We lived a half a block off. And we couldn't get to the first block because there was a huge oak tree, guys, just in the middle of the road. I don't think you guys understand how big roots that oak trees have. Well, we have to go around, and we couldn't get around it whatsoever. So we ended up having to go kind of towards the beach road, and we parked about, a few feet from the road. And we got out, and we started walking, and the entire beach highway road, right, that ran along the beach, was completely gone. No asphalt, no concrete, no sidewalks. It was just craters of dirt and sand, power lines everywhere. And as we started walking, there was a fire rescue soldier guy, man, and he's standing up there, and we heard him tell my mother, he said, it's bad down there. He's like, by the way, if you find any bodies, don't touch them. You know, obviously, right? Clearly, we're gonna go poke dead bodies, but guys, it's severe. So we start walking, and at the head of my street, there used to be this huge theater from like the 20s and 30s, and it was converted into a snowball stand now. And this snowball stand used to be one of my favorite things ever. And in front of it, there was a huge, massive tree that was like 200 years old. It was one of the protected oaks, and that tree was completely washed away. Never found it. And we stand at the head of my road, and my mom's like, "This is not our road," to my dad. And we start walking down it, and there's no houses, none, nothing. It's all flat. I mean, there's debris, but there's no houses. You can see straight through. And we start climbing over wood and stuff, because mind you that the wood and debris is about 6-7 feet high. So we climb up our house. We can see our roof. And when we get closer, we realize it's just a half house. Half the house had collapsed. At the time of the storm, my uncle actually stayed home. So we didn't know where he was. We didn't know where the dog was or anything. So we go in and we start looking around. But there was nothing. There's water and there's mud. And you can see up on the ceiling that the water level was up to the ceiling. And so, guys, we had nothing. We're going to fast forward a little bit. We found my uncle. It was on the next street. Actually found a canoe because the water was about 10 feet on our street. And he got to safety and shit. But we started riding around, and nobody could help us. Police, firemen, because everybody was in need, guys. No stores were open. Nothing. No gas was open. Everything was shut down. Everything was destroyed. So we were driving on the highway, and we noticed that some people were like gathering in Kmart's parking lot. And Kmart's parking lot, we just went. We were talking to people, and they said that they were going to start camping out there. They had no other choice. So what do? We're like, all right, we have no other option. We have no other place to go. We have no family to go to. And we parked the 2 cars that we had, us and then my 2 uncles and his wife, and we just camped. We slept on concrete for about a week. We ran out of food. We had no water and drinks. About 10 cars down, somebody had actually got stabbed and almost died. He was close to death, and before paramedics could eventually get to there. Eventually, my mother was walking around, and she'd got some service in the highway, and she got a hold of my aunt who lives in Alabama, and she's like, "What's wrong?" She said, how bad is it? We haven't heard from you in a week. Storm hit here, but it wasn't too bad. And wired us some money, got some gas, and we packed up and headed to Alabama. And pretty much from here on, we lived in different places. We went up to Jackson to some relatives, and we lived up there in their hotel. They own a hotel. We lived in their hotel for about 2 months. We came back, and FEMA was giving out trailers to people who needed temporary housing. So we got a temporary trailer, and then we upgraded to a mobile home on the property after we eventually got the property cleared out. And I'm going to try find some pictures and put up on the screen, and so you can see the severity of this. We stayed on the property until the house was built, and we lived there. And from here on out, we pretty much progressed. But guys, I want you to understand that if you've made it this far, that for those of you who don't know me, you don't know my background, you don't know my story. For 10 years, I have struggled to get where I am. I have struggled to get what I want. Video games has always been important to me. It's always been one of those things that I can play and meet people and have fun and feel good about myself. And it's just one of those things that's never left me. And my story with this is, I can't believe it's 10 years. And a lot of people don't know this. And I don't know, guys. I wish this commentary would have been a lot smoother. But, you know, like, I don't know where to go with the story. And I hope you guys enjoy. And I hope you guys learn a little bit about me. And I hope you guys made it all the way through. If you did, let me know down below. Tell me, you know, I don't know. Give me a keyword lemon or something. I don't know. I can't think, guys. But 10 years in my life is completely different. And to be honest, because of YouTube, because of Twitter, I am so much, you know, better off now. And I love all of you. I'm apologize for the slowness of this, you know, like, commentary, but it's a very touchy subject, so I just can't, this isn't something I just sit down and just go through because of all the memories. Again, guys, I'm Lights or Jesse, and until next time, I love you guys. Thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about me. Till next time, guys, peace, and I love you.